you talk yourself into E, but you talk yourself out of C.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's an easy way to cap yourself in like the 230s.
My name's Andrew. About to start my MS4 year. I'm a USIMG from Xavier University in Aruba. Most recent score, I took my CCSE on the 11th last Monday. I got a 229. Before that, I was doing a little bit better, so it's a little bit disheartening after that. I'm a former Ortho sales rep, and I went back to school to kind of chase my dreams. And I know that in order to get Ortho as IMG, you have to be exceptional, right? So goal is a 265 plus, test dates now in a month.
And I also love the question of like, is this even realistic? Because I think that that's also like an important question to ask. In your case, I mean, you're kind of in that realm where, I mean, I wouldn't bet my medical career on it, but you can see like jumps like that in that time frame. Like we've had people go from 230s to like 260s in a couple weeks. Okay, so let's look through some of the questions you got wrong. Sounds good?
Yeah. So this is from the IM. I did another IM shelf, the CMS form.
Okay.
So this is from that, the most recent one I did like yesterday.
What was the answer that you chose?
So I chose Burger syndrome on this one.
Okay. And the answer was C.
And the answer was C. And so, yeah.
And what was your rationale for choosing E versus C?
So my original thought when I was looking at this was I kind of went on like Lariche syndrome and was kind of focused on that. Like I saw the young man, the ED, the claudication, the smoking. So I was like, all right, I want to go with like this makes sense. And I kind of anchored on the Lariche syndrome that I had when I shouldn't have.
What is your understanding of Lariche?
So my understanding of Lariche is that atherosclerotic narrowing of, I forget exactly where, but causing ED. It has a smoking predisposition, and it's typically in young men. So it's like that kind of triad. And then I was like, had trouble remembering exactly what that was in the time. And then obviously going back I should have got this one right, but I didn't.
But because in other words, you had more than enough knowledge to get this correct.
Correct.
Right? Like, because you were like, I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that is like narrowing of the aorta. And then you saw an answer that was that. But then like, what was it that made you think like, oh, well, no, it can't be C?
I was like, this seems too easy.
I see. Okay.
And then I was just like, does narrowly distal aorta, like, does that cause, the bilateral lower extremities to be less than half of that in his arms? I was like, that seems like pretty severe, like a significant amount. I was like, she can't be this easy. Like, there's got to be something else going on.
This sounds like it was an expectation problem. Your expectation was it either A, shouldn't feel this easy, or B, if the question feels easy, you must be missing something. There must be something wrong.
Yeah, definitely sometimes, for sure.
I see. Okay. And so you move away from the answer that seems like the obvious answer, and you're like, well, I'm going to choose the one that like I'm unfamiliar with. I'm exaggerating. I'm exaggerating a little bit.
Yeah.
But like that sounds kind of like the flavor of what I'm getting. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Pretty common, actually. Very, very common. Let's look at a couple more. Okay. How about this one? So you chose what? And then what was
So this one I chose B.
B as in boy?
B as in boy, yeah.
So decreased, increased. Oh, interesting. Okay. So you chose increased glucagon. And how did you choose B as opposed to A?
I just kind of misconstrued it. And then I was like, it doesn't make sense why the peripheral insulin response should be normal. Because I was more attributing it to diabetes rather than chronic pancreatitis. And so I was like, diabetes, you're going to have to increase glucagon production.
Why does diabetes give you increased glucagon? Well, I'm not sure I'm following that. What about diabetes? At least diabetes that's secondary to like your pancreas just ate itself. What about that means that you would have increased glucagon production?
Because your body is insulin resistant.
Where does glucagon come from?
Glucagon comes from the pancreas.
Okay. So if your pancreas just ate itself, how much how much glucagon can it produce?
It's 0. It can't.
Okay, great. So it sounds like this one was more of a knowledge thing, or or at least maybe not knowledge, but like like a reasoning issue.
I agree. Yes.
ATN. So what did you think for this one?
So this one I picked B again, hypovolemia. And the whole stem was like he had the MVC, he lost a lot of blood, he had to get transfused, etc. Like, all right, he is hypovolemic. That could cause a pre-renal AKI or the intrarenal AKI or ATN, right? And then I was kind of like, all right, what's between the two? I was like, well, hypovolemia is the cause of both of them. So I picked hypovolemia instead of ATN. I was expecting, I think this one's more of an expectation thing because I was looking for, ATN, you're going to have the money cash, you're going to have the intrarenal AKI.
So what cards did you make for this one? Okay, so PC card is probably the wrong card to make for this one. I mean,
okay.
Sorry, PC card is not enough for this one. Like, yes, you should make a PC card. So a couple things. So based on the 3 questions that we have here, I've got some recommendations for how you can improve your score. Because you've got, your knowledge is clearly good, right? Like, you know a fair amount of stuff, right? Like that your sodium would be reabsorbed in hypovolemia, like you were able to make sense of that. Like, it's just that there's parts of it that you haven't yet connected. And so it's those parts that you haven't connected that are holding you back. PC cards are going to be a big part of this, right? So first of all, I would definitely make more cards in your case.
Okay.
Right? Because you are going to need to make those connections in your, you've got 2 choices. If you're a medical student or a doctor preparing for either the USMLEs or COMLEX or one of your medical board exams, then be sure to sign up for our free 14-step program where we'll walk you through the most efficient ways for you to improve your score in a short period of time. And if you're interested in getting there faster, be sure to book a free call with our team where we'll break down what it is that's holding you back and, if it makes sense, explain how it is that we can help you to get there more efficiently. You can either hope and pray that you're going to make these connections on the day of your test, which is generally not a high probability thing, or you can make sense of all of these things before you get into your test. And so when you see it, you're like, oh, okay, yeah. Because you better believe that I have cards on these specific things. So when I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, well, of course that makes sense. Not because I'm a genius, but because I've already spent the time putting it together. And so by the time I get to my test, I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Like, that makes sense. So for example, I would make a card on, sodium is 70, urine osmolarity is 280, right? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Is this pre-renal, intrarenal, or post?
Okay.
Right? What's the pathophysiology? And then I would make one where it's like the urine sodium is 10 and the urine osm's 450.
Okay.
What's going on? And labs and vital cards. Or, if you're like, oh man, I struggle whenever I see this image, make more cards on those things. Like, whatever it is that's slowing you down in the thing, or that's you're like, oh, I'm not really sure. Just make a card on that specific thing so you can drill that specific thing, right? It's like, if you struggle with, suturing, practice suturing, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense. If you struggle with the knot tying, practice the knot tying. It's, you don't have to do everything. You just have to do the thing that you are weak at. That's how you improve your score really quickly. The other way that you can improve your score really quickly is you need to change your expectations.
Yeah.
Because that is something that affects all of your questions. So your expectation that I heard was, this is too easy, this can't be the right answer. If you do the right thing, some of the questions, do you accept that some of the questions will feel easy?
Yeah.
Okay. So then choose the easy answer.
Okay.
Right? Does it guarantee that you're going to get it right? No. Because sometimes, again, like I said, you will make a misdiagnosis, you're going to anchor on the wrong thing, you're going to whatever. But that is a separate issue than the expectation of, oh, okay, all of this clicks, this must be the right answer. I would bet that 100% of the time and move on.
Okay.
Right? Because when you know it well enough, some of the answers will feel easy. Because some of the questions, 80% of the people get them right. Right? Those aren't hard questions. The other thing is that if something feels a little off, it also doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong.
Okay.
So the corollary to that. And that's don't be the lawyer, be the judge. So we've literally seen people improve by 30 points in 2 weeks just from making sure that they didn't eliminate an answer just because it felt a little off. I mean, in your case, it was like, this feels too easy, right? But like, I don't know, like it's something that like doesn't quite fit, and then you eliminated it, right?
Yeah.
So don't do that, right? Because what you did is you eliminated C and then you chose E by default. You're like, well, I don't really know what E is, and I don't know, maybe there's something I like don't know. And so you talk yourself into E, but you talk yourself out of C. Like that's an easy way to cap yourself in like the 230s. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think my question is like, how do you adjust those, like when you're going through it, like how do you practice that? Like how do you practice adjusting your expectations? You know what I mean?
Rule out.
Is that what that's okay?
That's what you do. Yeah. So you'd say, C, what makes C make sense? Well, it makes sense because, I mean, I think that is maybe kind of like similar to Lariche, and certainly narrowing would like explain claudication, right? What rules it out is, I don't know, maybe atherosclerosis, like, I don't know, seems a little weird. Like maybe is it really atherosclerosis? Or I don't know, maybe it's a little too easy. E, what makes E make sense? I have no idea. I actually don't even know what E is. What would rule out E? Honestly, I'm not sure, because like I'm not even sure what this is, but I'm pretty sure it's not like a autoimmune like whatever thing. So if you actually honestly compared the two, like, are either of those perfect? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But like, does one of them make more sense than the other?
Definitely.
Yeah. That's how you fix this problem, is you are brutally honest with yourself and you say, okay, like neither of these is perfect. What, like the pros and cons of this versus the pros and cons of this. Literally, we've seen people improve by more than 30 points in 2 weeks just by fixing this. Because they did it every single time. And they they changed their expectations and they changed the way that they practiced it. All right, Andrew, really good to see you. Keep me posted, because like this is like one of the most exciting times of studying, is that because like subtle changes can make really big differences in your score. And so I'm like really excited for you, man. Like this is awesome. Like you clearly have the knowledge and skills of someone who can get a 260. It's like you just got to put it all together.
If you're putting in the hours but your knowledge isn't accumulating, it's not about studying more. It's about building a system where nothing you learn gets forgotten. In this video, I break down the exact framework to make that happen and get you on track for a 260 plus in step 2. Click here to watch it next.